Natasha,
Debbie,
show.
the show.
Welcome to it. Just two patriotic girls.
Learning about the world.
So please, don't take us the wrong way.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Hello, welcome to the Natasha and Debbie show.
100,000 subscribers. Oh yeah, you did that
That's
for
right.
us this weekend.
You guys did it.
Look what you did. You hooked us up. You hooked up the channel. You said, hey, we love those weirdos in Cincinnati, Ohio. Those strange girls.
Yes, you guys have definitely shown that to us. We couldn't be more appreciative. So thank you guys.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown. So get your heads up here. Come on, everybody get close. Come on. This is one crown to fit 100,000 folks. So get up here.
It's gonna be heavy.
Come on. We're gonna put this on you. Okay? This is going on your head. You.
Lean
I'm
in.
serious. Lean in. Come on.
Get in there.
Let's do this.
How's that feel?
You are now
were
in the crown because you are our champions anyway. And thank you so much. What an awesome thing to happen over the weekend. 100,000 subscribers. It's kind of hard to believe.
It is hard to believe, and it was so amazing.
But seriously,
no problem.
we just can't thank you guys enough. We just cannot thank you enough for your support. It's free to subscribe, so if you haven't already done so, everyone else is doing it.
That's right, so don't miss out. Consider subscribing to our channel like everyone else has.
And hit the like button. But we really thank you so very much. We really, really do. And your support for our channel is really just moving us to death. Now, are we going to get that YouTube plaque? Maybe not. Maybe not. It's a long story. We'll get into it someday. We'll see. We'll find out. It's not looking great, but it's a long story. What's not a long story, though, is today's episode, which we're excited to do.
Yes, we are. We are going to take a look at what did the British ever do for us scientifically?
And it's a good question. I don't know the answer, but this guy does. He's Aussie. His channel is called Reef Rebels, and you will find the link to his channel and this video in the description of ours. We'd love it if you go subscribe to his channel. He's a nice gentleman who's let us use his video. I sent this to a friend of ours, and he loved it. He's in England, and he said...
He's hard to please.
Yeah, he is. It's Brett. You guys know if it's Brett. Our
So
Facebook
if Brett
family
liked
knows.
it, you should like it too.
Yeah, Brett said, all I'm going to say to you when you watch it afterwards is, you're welcome. So a lot of inventions, I know that, but I also know that our Aussie friend here is a bit sarcastic. And so he's like just taking a piss a little bit. So I'm like, okay, good to know. But I probably would have figured that out. But I'm really excited to learn about these inventions. We've really never looked at that much at all.
No, we haven't.
No, it's been hard to find a video on it. So I've been dying to do this. Super excited. Hope you are too. Again, smash that like button if you're here. And especially if you've already subscribed. That'd be cool. We'd love to know who our 100,000 subscriber was, by the way.
That would be so cool to
If you
find out who
know-
that person was.
If you know it was you, let us know. But having said that, thank you guys again. And now let's get on with the show.
What did the British, ever do for us scientifically? Nowadays, our education system regards the British as brutal colonists who enslaved populations, subjugated the world. Out of roughly 200 countries in the world today, the Brits colonised, settled or invaded about 90% of them, which I think is fairly impressive, or at least I think the Romans would think it was impressive. But would we have been better off without those bastard Brits? Now, as it happens, they may have some redeeming features. If you look at their scientific contribution at least. Now, this is a slightly different video to normal, and I'm going to talk about the British scientific and technological achievements and inventions, even though I could mention trivial things like the British invention of some of the best countries in the world, like Australia, Canada, Singapore, New Zealand,
We're going to be in
America.
there. Knew it.
Well,
Knew it.
Exactly.
maybe not invented, but they were certainly highly influenced. The other countries that have a great deal to be proud of, such as Malaya, South Africa, Fiji, Kenya, Botswana, Sri Lanka, India, all wonderful British creations. But we're a science channel, and we're going to look at science. Now, the list is long of scientific...
I mean, the British did kind of create me many centuries ago, many ancestors back.
Okay, your ancestors.
Yeah.
Like, how did they actually create you? Now, I get it now. They created your
Along
ancestors.
with the Swedish,
yes.
the Danish.
Yes. A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
The same. Anyway.
Scientific achievements, and I'm only going to look at the really big ones and some of the more important ones. Let's start.
Okay, I'm excited about this.
I like him already.
Yeah,
Let's
he's got
start
funny
with
humor.
transport and engines. So the British invented the railways. Steel
did know
tracks, railway locomotives. In fact, wherever the British went, railways followed. So they put in railways in Germany, India, South America, and of course everybody copied that. We have the modern bicycle, initially called the Rover safety bicycle, apparently.
Awesome.
Chain drive, caster steering, and relatively small wheels. Invented by the Rover company. In fact, in Poland, the word for bicycle is Rover. And yes, it's the same company that makes Land Rovers.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Shut up.
Look at all this stuff we're learning.
Did not know this.
That's pretty cool.
Did you know that? Did you know that? Don't say you did. That just makes me feel stupid.
Now, the British obviously invented the first engines, which was the steam engine, and that broke us free from back-breaking animal and human-powered devices. Now, while the British were inventing the steam engine, they, of course, had to invent the piston. And more importantly, the piston ring that seals the piston, a truly remarkable technological invention, which is even now being developed further. And the piston and piston ring is the basis for petrol engines and diesel engines, in fact, virtually every engine. So no Brits, no engines.
Okay.
Next, they invented the first engine-powered ships, obviously steam-powered. Ships' propellers, steel ships, the steam turbine, initially for powering ships, but now it powers the generators in every coal electricity generating plant and every nuclear generating plant. So that's about 50% of all the
Well,
hold on, let me finish that
that's
sentence.
quite a bit.
Hold on.
electricity that's generated today.
Oh, that's quite a bit. Thank you.
Yeah, I just gonna sit here and just say that a lot. Okay.
All the engines.
Courtesy of Mr. Parsons.
Okay.
Then we have the jet engine. Yes, the Germans independently invented it in the Second World War. The turboprop engine, invented by the Brits, the first turboprop aircraft. So if you don't fly in an airplane powered by a jet engine, which was largely due to the Brits, it's a turboprop airplane, which was invented by the Brits.
Interesting.
And of course, the turboprop is the basis of the gas turbine, which is used to generate another 20% of the world's electricity.
Holy crap.
Jeez.
We also
That's
have
70%.
the modern car layout. Front drive, transverse engine, independent suspension, CV joints on the front wheels. Before that, companies tried all sorts of arrangements. So, for example, the Germans famously had the engine and everything at the back, but since 1959, most cars use the Mini Minor equivalent. Ever been on a vehicle that uses steel wheels? Pretty uncomfortable. But don't worry, the Brits invented the pneumatic tyre.
What?
So it looks like the British have invented pretty much everything that runs on the road.
Right?
They didn't invent the road, that's just about it.
You sure about that?
Actually, they did.
No, come
Tarmac
on.
roads, or tarmacadam, was invented by
Really?
a Scot and a Welshman.
Really?
Then we have steel bridges. And here's a very...
Okay.
One word. YouTube. America. Netflix. Another word. America. Fails in comparison to
I know.
almost all modes of transportation.
Engines, roads, bridges.
Now you can just sit around and gain weight and watch TV. Don't bother, touring the world and your nice jet and your cool bicycle and your awesome car.
Driving your car.
Just watch Netflix and YouTube. I'm sorry. I got nothing.
Very interesting one. The modern traffic roundabout in the 1960s.
Oh!
Now you might think,
Then, no, thank you. Hate them.
I'm driving more of them, and I'm starting to like them a lot more.
I don't like them because I don't trust other people.
It is hard when other people aren't used to driving them.
Yeah, I'm fine driving it. I just don't trust other people because they pull out in front of me or they stop, and I'm like, you're not supposed to stop. Because what they don't do is they don't teach us here once we already have our license, right?
No.
they don't teach us how to do that. Now, I know how to do it, but then the other people are stupid. They don't.
Yep, they just install them and say, go to it.
I know how because she taught me how when they started to put them in.
They
But
did.
they're putting them in like crazy.
Mhm.
It's insanity, I'm telling you.
That roundabouts have been around since way before the 1960s, but the Brits had the inspired idea of changing the rules for the roundabout. In other words, yield to enter, which massively increases the efficiency of the roundabout.
Mm.
Then we have the cat's eye reflector.
What?
Caterpillar tracks, which the Brits invented just before they invented the tank.
You know
So
the
there's
tank?
much more we could talk about in terms of transport
we did that.
technology, but we must move on
Guess
to
not.
other industrial and technological stuff. Now, of course, Britain
My life's a lie.
famously started the Industrial Revolution in the 18th and 19th centuries.
Yeah.
Debated why it started in the United Kingdom, but clearly there was something special going on that made that spark. And of course,
Oh, we
it
don't
started
know.
in the textile and agricultural industry. In the textiles, they invented the flying shuttle, powered looms, the spinning mill for making threads.
Really?
In fact, if you didn't have the Brits, you don't have the very fine
Yeah, I get
modern
it.
clothings which we have now.
You know what? Then I don't thank you because we could all be looking at naked people. So to hell with that, Brits.
No, thank you for clothes. I don't want to see all the naked people.
I want to see some of them, not all of them.
Some of them, but most of them, no thank you.
All right, let's do this direct. I'm kidding. They're unsubscribing. Please don't. Just saying, if it wasn't for you Brits, we would have naked people. So
Which is also incredibly cheap compared with what it used to be. In the agricultural industries, there are
What,
all
you did
sorts
the
of
horse?
mechanical devices like the mechanical seed drill, the haymaking threshing machine, but also really important things like phosphate fertilizer production, selective breeding. But that's just the beginning of the Industrial Revolution. If you're going to have an Industrial Revolution, you need a big build buildings. And so the British gave us Portland cement, a revolutionary type of cement. Where would
Wow.
we be without it? Then we have things like steel boring machines, which led to the modern lathe, which is ubiquitous in metal cutting. Hyper-accurate
It's huge.
machines for measuring things, the micrometer, for instance.
that's what that's
You
called.
cannot
Wow.
have modern engineering unless you have
it's called that.
hyperfine methods for measuring things. We have stainless steel, the production of polyethylene,
What the-
very famous practice, plastic used in just about everything. The
Wow.
steel hammer for forging steel and making it much stronger. The Bessemer steel process, the first mass production of
Okay,
steel.
hang on. We should have titled this video, "Hey, Brits, we're gonna stroke your ego now. Just stand up straight and
Pretty
just."
much. Yep.
Hey guys, bend over. Come here. Mwah. That's what this feels like. I mean,
It
you can't
is.
deny it. It is what it is.
Butts.
This
I know.
is
Like pretty
impressive.
much everything.
This is impressive.
effectively.
Also
and then
annoying.
the mass production of glass using the now ubiquitous virtually
Are you
tin
kidding?
flotation method.
Wow.
All right, let's go a little bit electrical. So the first long distance communication cables were invented by the Brits, the coaxial cable. This was
Seriously?
used for
Coaxial.
underwater cables to link the UK to America and other places. The first intercontinental communication, the birth of the internet in a sense. It was
In
the
a
first
sense.
time that we could communicate all around the world. The telephone, Alexander Graham Bell,
Yep,
the Scotsman.
I knew that one.
Television, liquid crystal, cavity magnetron. You've never heard of the cavity?
But
It's in
No, I
your
have not.
microwave, but probably more importantly, the first radars to a large extent used the cavity magnetron, which was a revolution. Then if we go a little bit medical, we've got CAT scanners,
Really?
ultrasound scanners, the first town to have chlorinated water. How about the first electronic programmable computer to crack
Yeah, we knew
German
that.
codes
Yep.
in the Second World War?
Colossus.
Accurate navigation using highly accurate clocks, the chronometers, and the first workable atomic clock. Then we have the World Wide Web, a gas stove, tin cans, and a really big one. I know you've been wondering where I get to this one. An alarm clock
What?
that makes
Aw.
tea.
I've seen that.
have to throw it in there.
Hold on. That's what that is. Okay.
Oh.
The beginning of I Want to Break Free video. Queen.
It wasn't that.
Then they did the whole Coronation Street thing when they all dressed up in drag. That's the beginning of the video because Brian smacks it and it's like a kettle, like steam going off. I never understood what the hell that was.
Well, now you know.
And it looked like that, but I think it was pink.
An alarm
I
clock
did not know
with a kettle.
Is that actually a thing you guys all use and stuff? Like, I want to know. But yeah, I'm glad you put a picture up. I would have been like, what the hell are you talking about, man? But yeah, it's in the beginning of I Want to Break Free music video.
Yeah, okay.
I'll have to show you that after this.
The alarm clock, kettle starts boiling. Time to get up.
That's just crazy. And of course you would.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Again, I could have added many, many more things, but let's go on to fundamental science, the stuff that all other science and technology actually depends upon.
Oh no.
Before we do that, maybe just like and subscribe. How about the discovery of the proton, neutron, and electron? The three building blocks of...
I knew that from science class,
just
man.
about everything.
I didn't want to give you guys
Discovered
credit for
by
that.
Brits.
Just kidding.
And the Brits also discovered the opposite of matter, which is antimatter, by Paul Dirac. And more recently, the last particle in the standard physics model of just about everything, the Higgs boson, which was proposed by Peter Biggs. Now let's go a little bit bigger, but not a great deal bigger. The atom, the model of the atom with a hard nucleus with the electrons flying around was essentially discovered by the British.
Yeah.
And I'm being a little bit loose there because there is a famous New Zealander involved with this, but frankly in those days Kiwis were basically Brits. What about biology? Well, in my view, the two biggest advances in biology were both discovered by Brits. The first one is Charles Darwin's theory of evolution. And then you have the discovery of the structure of DNA at Cambridge University.
What?
That's pretty impressive there.
I know it's British discovery.
No.
Okay, well, son of a beach.
Thank you again.
Oh my goodness.
Fundamental molecular biology, of which the whole DNA revolution...
Thanks a lot. Now I can totally be linked to anything I do. But that helped me find out my ancestry, so thank you.
Absolutely.
Based on it. And yes, I know Watson was an American and Wilkins was a Kiwi. Anyway, of course, the discovery of the structure meant this explosion in growth of the whole DNA industry, effectively, such as DNA fingerprinting, now invented by the Brits. Now let's go back to...
And this is thanks to you. I had to burn off my freaking fingertips. Kidding.
Basic, very fundamental, and possibly more important medicine. We have antiseptics, antibiotics, vaccines, all three invented by Brits.
I didn't know
Let's
this.
go
Very important stuff
back
there.
to physics.
Hold up.
All three invented by...
Smallpox, that thing, and diphtheria. What's that one?
Pertussis.
You've heard of that before?
Yeah, I think it's
I've never
like
heard of that.
whooping cough.
Whooping cough?
I think.
Let us know. I never heard of that one. Diphtheria, my dad's little sister died from that back in the day.
Huge inventions there.
Those
Very,
are
very important.
life-saving deals. I mean, smallpox is, wow. Okie dokie. This is craziness.
By Brits. But let's go back to physics now. So we have Newton's laws of motion, Newton's laws of gravity. Where would we be without Sir Isaac Newton? We essentially couldn't predict anything.
True.
Actually, you know, just really quickly, when we did that video on Alan Turing, a lot of people said a lot of people are under the impression, the myth, that the Apple symbol was for Alan Turing, died from the apple, etc. It was actually a nod, Steve Jobs admitted, to Isaac Newton. So not to Alan Turing. That's the truth.
Back on to the physics, the laws of optics and the way that radio waves travel. Light, the laws of electromagnetic propagation in signals and wires. Scotsman James Clerk Maxwell's.
Oxygen.
You don't have any mobile phones or computers or communication cables without Maxwell. And then we have electromagnetic induction from Michael Faraday's. If you don't understand magnetic induction, there are no electric motors, there's no electric generators.
Okay.
Basically, the whole backbone of the electricity system,
Would just fall apart.
you owe it to the Brits.
Wow.
Or in mathematics, and there are a lot here, so I'm going to pick the really big one, which is the invention of calculus, yes. There was another guy called Leibniz who also invented it at the same time. But
no one's thanking you for calculus invention. No one's thanking you for the invention of calculus.
I was going to say, I know it's important, but I hate calculus.
Nope. You know, thanks for the partial invention of the internet and all, but take your calculus and keep it over there.
Calculus is at the basis of a huge amount of advanced science of engineering. It's as
I'm
fundamental
taking the piss. Don't get
as
mad.
algebra and arithmetic.
I'm still mad
Now,
about that.
this list is not complete. There are literally a zillion other things that the Brits have contributed to.
Oh, I'm sure.
Actually, there is just one more. The Flushing loo.
Yeah, we knew this.
Now, obviously, much of what those British scientists did was based on other scientists from lots of other countries, and the Brits were just part of this magnificent thing which we call Western civilization.
Yeah.
Of course, there were French and there were Germans, and the scientific development and advancement then spread to the United States and now to the Far East. But the contribution of the Brits were utterly fundamental on so many levels.
Very
Now,
true.
without those advancements, our lives would be short, harsh, and frankly, just bloody horrible. The world's population would still be about 1 billion, which is what it was in about 1800.
Don't forget words like wanker. Don't leave that out now.
Rather than the roughly 8 billion that it is today without that wonderful science and technology. How many lives, how many babies, children were saved by antibiotics, antiseptics, clean water,
Diphtheria
the
vaccine.
uses of electricity, communications and transport. Famines are effectively a thing of the past because, well, for one reason, we can ship food around from one place to another very, very easily. Now, look, it turns out that I was born in England, and even though I'm an Aussie, so I am biased. But I don't think it makes sense to be proud of what your ancestors did or were unless there's some evidence that you carry on those ideas, values and traditions. But even if you don't measure up to those ancestors or other people's ancestors, it's just bad form not to appreciate what those people did for us.
I agree.
The contribution of the Brits was truly incredible, and we should all be grateful that they came along and did more than virtually any other group to pull humanity out of the appalling, difficult lives that existed before the 1800s.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was a lot. I know it's not everything. This was a scientific version of, things, and it wasn't all inventions.
Right.
A lot of it was contributions as well. But that was a fun video. He's some pretty hardcore sarcasm there.
He does.
Again, if you liked his video, we'd appreciate if you give him a subscribe and a like. Go to the description of our video, and the link to his video is right there for you. Thank you, Reef Rebels, for that episode. That was a lot of stuff. I'm like, good God, is he going to get to the point where he just says, they invented oxygen? They invented the swimming pool. Who invented the swimming pool? If you guys liked that, please hit the like and consider subscribing. So the light bulb is still up for debate. Like, I know people will go back and forth. And then airplane, the personal computer. We invented chocolate chip cookies, supposedly. I'm just looking online right now. A hearing aid?
Just a nice quick Google.
Hearing aid? I'll need one of those very, very soon. I'm not kidding.
But that was such an informative video.
I really enjoyed it.
That was great.
I thought it was a lot of fun. And thank you guys so much for the 100,000 subscribers. That's super cool. I just realized we left those up the whole video.
We sure did.
I hope I didn't
It's a
annoy
celebration.
It is. And seriously, your ongoing support to our channel means so much to both of us. I hope you understand that.
It definitely does.
And hey, come to Patreon. Come visit us over on Patreon for extra exclusive content that you only get on Patreon. We'd love to have you over there. I got my music reactions going on over there. We go out and take you on date night sometimes and different places to check out and some other random reactions. And our Facebook page too. We appreciate you so much, and we really just can't say thank you enough. So thank you. We'll see you next time. Until then, please love, like, jazz.
Be as strong as Tyson.
Thank you, Brits.
Thank you. Bye.